my name's Yuri Kasdorp. We are here with another track guide video for Coach Dave Academy. We're at Interlagos for the new season VRS week, and we're driving the Lamborghini Huracan. It's a very hot track. It's tricky to drive in a lot of places. Let's see how this looks like when we go for the hot lap. Alright, so here we are starting the lap. We're at Interlagos. Air temp is quite high, and we know that means in Interlagos, that means the track temp is going to be very, very high. What that means for our driving is that we need to be careful for the tires. They start to overheat very, very quickly. So, need to be smooth on our inputs and try to not brake too hard. Braking the ABS will also overheat the tires, which is very, very costly here. Brake around the 50 of the turn 1. Get on the curb on the left side. Turn 2 and turn 3 should be almost flat. Brake on the access road on the right here. Use the inside curb. Bring the car over to the left. Next, right hand will try to have minimal inputs in the corner itself. Just keep the speed high. And all the way to the left here. Try to hug the curb on the inside here. If you hug the curb, the car will keep rotating. And low inputs here. And on the exit, bring the car to the right. Open this left-hander up, that will make it easy flat. Open up the last corner. And try to have a good run to the line. And that's the lap around Interlagos and the Lamborghini Huracan EVO GT3. Right, so here we are to start the lap. Just let it run. And for turn 1 you can either run on the clean part of the track here or run all the way to the outside. I think there's a bit less grip on this part of the track, there's a bit of pain, but of course you can run a bit wider onto turn 1 entry. I like doing this on my qualifying laps and the first laps. In the race sometimes I like just staying on the road. So when we brake around the 50 marker here, I brake just before from the outside cam, but as you can see from the inside cam here, when we start braking, you're pretty much past it already. So my reference is to start braking pretty much as I pass this board here. And then what you want to do is you want to keep it around the outside. You don't want to brake towards the inside, but keep it around the outside. The first bit, and then gradually, once you start getting closer to the corner, you gradually start getting towards the inside. And then your slowest point you want to be on this curb. So if you can see on this curb, it goes up and down again. On this highest point, you want to have the car on the curb completely on the inside. And then what your goal should be is that turn 1 should be slowed down so much so that turn 2 is flat or very, very close to it. So you can have a tiny bit of a lift sometimes, but you want to have turn 1 as slow as you have to be to have turn 2 almost flat. If you run 2 out of 1, then you're gonna have to sacrifice turn 2 a lot, and then the next straight will be too slow. As you can see here, the only lift we had to do was a tiny lift here to get the front to bite a tiny bit. And then turn 2 and turn 3 is easy flat. Just let the car run here with low resistance. Then we get to turn 4, and turn 4 is very tricky with the off track. On the exit, I want to brake at the end of this access road on the right here. So there's a 50 marker, it's hard to see. I just use this exit road on the right. So that's where I want to brake. At this again for me in the car, the reference is at the end of this. Go for the cockpit. Start braking at the end of this. That means that from the outside cam, depending how you want to use your marker, you brake just before it. Keep it to the right side here, and then what you want to do is you want to use a lot of the inside curb here, which helps the car rotate. So that might be a bit counterintuitive. Sometimes when the curb is like this, the car wants to slide off of it. But here, if you take this, it kind of makes the right front bite into the track and avoid that understeer on the exit here that you sometimes get. That way you can avoid the very, very easy off track on the right side here. You got to run up the hill and then turn 5-6. 5-6, very, very tricky. There's no real marker on the left side here. So you just slow down before the corner. Where exactly is very tricky to see, but you don't want to brake too hard here anyways. You want to very slowly slow the car down while you're turning. And what that does is that if you do it slowly, you're not decelerating the car too much, you're not asking that much from the tires, and you can use that grip instead for turning and taking a bit more speed into the entry. So you see, very slow inputs here, very low inputs. Same with the throttle when I'm starting to pick up the throttle. Slowly pick up the throttle. If you do that too quickly, the car's going to understeer. Then you want to run all the way to the left on the exit here. So you can run with your right side tires all the way on the curb here without getting an off track. You brake towards the inside. You can even take a bit more curb here, but then your speed on the corner itself will be a bit slower. And for the left-hander here, you want to have your left side tires follow in between this curb, so the edge of the curb here and the white line. If you go too far on this curb, again, the car tends to slide off of it a bit. But if you're too far off the curb, you kind of miss the camber of the corner. So you want your wheels to follow this inside groove here. And if you do that, you see I'm very early on the throttle here. And the car just keeps rotating and follow it. And the second hairpin is very tricky. You want to make sure you have your braking zone as straight as you can here while going towards the outside, opening up the corner. It can be very, very tricky. So from the cockpit cam, you bring the car outside, brake as straight as you can, and then slowly bring it over to the inside. And then you want to have the same as the previous left-hander, where you have your wheel in between where the slope of the curb is and the white line. And then just kind of follow that. And then we do the same again here, where you want to have the wheel in between the slope of the curb and the white line. It should be easy flat here. Then here, you want to have, I think, the middle of the car, the left side of this. But once this colored curb ends and this kind of tarmac here starts, the track limits go from this line here middle of the car to this line middle of the car. Which means that the moment we're off this, we go right and we use this as the middle of the car and we try to open up the next corner. So I'm all the way on the right side here. This is not an off track. This is allowed and this is the racing line that you want to use in the race as well. And the reason for that is that the more exit speed we can carry from the next left-hander up the hill, the more speed we can carry all the way up to turn 1. Want to slow it down quite a lot here towards the inside. Get the car rotated and early back into the power here. Use the car on exit and then all the speed we can carry out of this corner here up the hill is going to be worth a lot of time all the way up to the line in turn 1. That's what we got here, just keeping it tight. Quick thing to note as well is that on the race runs and qualifying runs, you are allowed to use the pit entry here. You don't have to stay on the right side of this line, the pit entry line. You can just run all the way to the barrier and then run back to the track here. So if you want to do a qualifying lap or just end the lap like I do, on the left side here, otherwise you want to slowly start moving to the right again and get your car prepared for turn 1. So that's the lap around Interlagos. So there we go, that's the lap around Interlagos. Very, very tricky. Should be a lot of fun to race though, should be nice and quite a lot of competition. I wish everyone good luck in the races they're running, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel.